A lot of customers have asked for a video showing the various jaw sets that are available for the Hurricane chucks. So we're going to go through those right now. At the moment, there are 9 different sets of chuck jaws, which should cover just about anything you could want to do in your turning adventures. First one that we're going to look at is a standard dovetail jaw. The profile on this jaw is a dovetail on the interior and the exterior. Just show you that the back of each jaw has an alignment groove here, which locks into the mounting jaw face. And on the 4th jaw, jaw number 4, there's a groove here and a pin, locking pin in the jaw, which prevents the chucks from flying out should you extend them too far. Okay? So let's take some measurements on the standard dovetail jaws. First thing I'm going to measure is interior. So this would be the minimum amount of compression you could have if you were clamping down on a tenon. And it is 2 1/4 inches. And then in expansion mode, which would be out here, we have 2 7/8. 2 7/8 inches. Okay, so there's another look. And I did not mount them on there just so that we could go through the jaws more quickly. Next set of dovetail jaws would be the large dovetail jaws. And I will mount them on here quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there they are. Large dovetail jaws. Let's look at the profile. Profile is a large dovetail on the inside, which gives you the ability to clamp down on a pretty deep tenon. And on the outside, a shallower dovetail, so you could get into a narrow recess. Let's measure those up. So we have 4 3/4, inside edge to inside edge, and exterior we have 5 full inches. 5 full inches. Now, a lot of people have asked for similar types of jaws to these dovetails with serrated edges, so we have those too. First are the standard size serrated jaws. Now these do not have a dovetail. They have a straight side, serrated on the interior and the exterior. Measure these up. 2 1/4 interior, about 2 7/8 on the exterior. And then of course there's a large version to this. Large version of the serrated jaws. Let's take a look at the profile. Again, similar to the dovetail jaws, we have about 4 1/2 on the interior and just a little over 5 on the exterior. Now we have some specialty jaws. First one I'll show you here are pin jaws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Straight side here, if you need to get into something like a small lidded box. Dovetail up at the top. Again, if you were making maybe a small cap, finial with a recess underneath. And then you could also clamp down on a cylindrical bar, possibly pen mandrel, something like that. And In that case, we'd want to go down to the closed position. And I have 3/8 of an inch in the interior hole. And the height, about 7/8 of an inch. 7/8 of an inch from the bottom to the top. Next one that we have, I don't think I showed you, but the chuck body itself is labeled 1, 2, 3, 4 for the various jaw positions. Again, so you line up number 1 over the 1 spot, 2 and 3, 4, also very useful if you need to get in to a small cylindrical item and expand, serrated jaws. Also, you could clamp down on a round object. These are larger than the last jaws we've showed you. So we have a dimension here of about 1/2 inch. Continuing on the next set of jaws, which is very, very useful for expansion. Serrated step jaws. So the last two jaws that I showed you had a 3/8 and a 1/2 inch interior hole. This one basically clamps down to about 0. I'll show you that now. So if you need to get down on a wire, something very small, basically gets you down to nothing. Dimensions here. Let's open it up just to get it round. We have, start with the larger one, about 2.5 inches from here to here, and 1 1/4. Next set of jaws that I'm going to show you are expanding dovetail. I shouldn't say expanding, these are extended dovetails, which means they are dovetail, designed for expanding mode, but also extended off the chuck face. These can also clamp down to almost 0. And the dimension here is 2 1/4 inches. 2 1/4 inches. And this extends just about an inch off the surface. And what this allows you to do, let's take a look at the side profile. What this allows you to do is if you are working on a piece, a platter or something, which is in expansion mode, and you might be limited by the width of the chuck to get in behind the bowl, or behind the platter. This takes the bottom of the platter and moves it off and away from the chuck, giving you more access to the area behind. And then the last jaw set, which is very, very popular, are cold jaws. I think what we'll do with these, let's measure these up. I'll put these off to the side. Let's measure these up just to give you an idea. I'll put them down on the work surface. 1/4. And we might do a whole separate video showing these in action. But those are the cold jaws right there. End to end, from here to here, we have 10 1/2 inches. 10 1/2 inches. And these holes are spaced, just about 3 inches for the minimum to about 10 1/2. And of course, you can get another 1 3/4 inches if you expand this out fully. And we'll do another video showing those. So again, those are the 9 jaw sets available. for the HTC125 chuck. Truly a spectacular chuck at a reasonable price, and let us know if you have any questions.